Today I witnessed a young man get rejected by his parents in public for being gay. What's the saddest thing you've witnessed happen to someone else in public? I was a waitress when I was 18. I worked one Father's Day and this old man was seated in my section. He did not order anything because he said he was waiting for his children. He was dressed really nice and had this big smile on his face. After about 15 minutes, I asked him if he wanted an appetizer or anything while he waited. He was looking less happy at this point. He said no. He would just wait for his kids. I ended up talking to him quite a bit between taking care of other tables. He had not seen his children in over 25 years and they had promised they would be there that day. He waited for an hour and a half. They never showed. When he left, he was crying silently and had not eaten anything. I used to work at a wildlife company at the local mall. You know, rain sticks, statues, Arnie CDs. One day a little boy came in wanting to buy his mom a present. He was around 7 or 8 years old, I'd say. The kid wanted to buy a present for his mom and had a handful of assorted bills and change. He counted his money to see how much he had and I took him around the store and showed him different things he could afford to buy. As we were looking, he saw a coffee mug with a nature scene on it that he loved. But he didn't quite have enough money for it. He only had about $5 and some change. I told him to go ahead and get it and chipped in some of my own money to make up the difference. He left the store smiling. A little while later this angry woman came dragging the kid back in the store. She slammed the mug on the counter and insisted on an immediate refund. I thought she was just mad because I helped the kid spend his money or something. But then after I gave her back the money, she grabbed the kid by the hand and dragged him quickly out of the store, fussing at him saying, "Why would you buy me something like that? I would never use something like that." My heart broke a little. I used to babysit a couple of kids and their mum developed a big drinking problem. She kept vodka in a water bottle. A friend or relative or someone, I don't remember who, it was a long time ago, went to grab her bottle from her and the daughter, who was about 6, leapt to mum's defense, yelling at the friend, "You can't take it. That's mummy's special water. She needs it to make her feel better." That girl would be about 15 now. And I haven't seen her in years. But I can't help but wonder how much she's worked out now about what was going on back then. I was eating in a Mexican restaurant and there was a family arguing next to me. The teenage daughter was crying while her father told her that he would always put his new wife, who was sitting next to him looking smug, before her. From what I heard, the poor girl had been kicked out of her home because she wasn't getting along with her stepmom. The old "let's break the news" in a restaurant. They won't make a scene trick. Famous for decades as a breakup method. Never works. When I worked at GameStop, I was a lonely grunt organizing video games. Suddenly this bigger lady with a cane came in with an opened Xbox 360 demanding a full cash refund even though the system was open. Used. Missing the game it should have came with. And some source was on the system. GameStop policy: as you open it's yours. Turns out her son had stolen her disability money that they rely on for food and rent. Came to the mall and used all of it on the video game system. She was to the point of tears because we couldn't help her. Meanwhile her son kept grabbing different games and was adding them to the counter, demanding that we ring them out for him because she was paying. Look on her face was incredibly sad. Like her soul had been snatched away. My manager ended up giving her a 80% refund even though they had kept the system for more than 2 months. As she walked out of the store dragging her bawling 12 years old with her walking condition was painful to watch. I was in line at Walmart behind this mother and her 11 or 12-year-old daughter. The mother has her in hysterics, demanding she hand over the money she earned babysitting so she can buy cigarettes because, "Oh, you're in my house. It's my money. I'd just taken out a bunch of money for my trip down here to Florida." So while her mom was leaning over the register area, griping about cig prices, I tapped the girl on the shoulder and gave her $100 in tens and whispered for her to hide it from her mom. She quickly stuffed it into her pocket and had the biggest grin. But she got the hint quickly and just stood there looking grumpy so her mom wouldn't wise up. I was at Walmart a couple of years ago. looking for something in the electronics department. Walked up to the checkout stand just as the cashier took a personal phone call. All of a sudden she lets out this awful scream. And just completely loses it. Sobbing and crying. Everyone is standing there in shock. One of her co-workers came over to comfort her. And I went on my way. Turns out she just found out her husband died in an accident. This day that sticks in my mind as the saddest thing I've ever seen. A group of us went to a bar for lunch. The hostess seats us next to two well-dressed middle-aged men and a well-dressed middle-aged woman. Woman is sobbing. We all think they've just told her that someone has died and are quiet out of respect to her. After a couple of minutes of this awkward quiet with a sobbing woman, one of the men grabs her hand and says quite loudly, "Not everyone believes in Scientology, Genie." My whole table lost it. Our high school marching band got hired to perform a private parade through a neighborhood, ending with a concert at the man's house. I was a freshman at the time and I remember how we made our horn arc and played as the guy and his wife stood outside. The wife had her arms crossed and smiling, just glared at us and him the entire time. We found out after that the guy had apparently cheated on her with the babysitter and was trying to make it up to her. I'm not sure how he thought a shitty marching band concert at 9 AM was going to make up for that.